How much energy do you use? Well, I bet you it's more than you think. Let's take a look at your morning routine. You wake up, you turn off your alarm, grab a hot shower, brush your teeth, wash your face, make yourself a cup of tea, make yourself some breakfast. While you wait, you watch the morning news, blow dry your hair. You haven't even left for work yet. Now multiply that use by millions every morning, and you begin to get a sense of Ontario's energy demands.
The current state of the sector is that it is a sector in crisis. It's a sector that has a financial crisis. It's a sector that has a capacity crisis. It's a sector that has a supply and demand crisis.
Power equals wealth. Energy equals wealth. We are huge users of energy. We have a supply problem of reliable energy going into the future. We're going to have growing demand on our energy sources.
Electricity is extremely important. It drives virtually everything that we have. It's our industry, it's our mining, it's our refining, it runs our hospitals, it runs our schools. Without inexpensive, reliable electricity, the province would take a huge hit. It's the lifeblood of the economy.
People will look at the electrical systems around them, and if they're aware of them at all, they will probably think of them as fairly static things. They see a generating station or they see a transmission line. They can be forgiven for thinking that they're just there and they operate all the time. Well, in fact, they don't. You can't store electricity. You have to have it there at the instant that it's needed, neither too much nor too little. We're told that the situation is better now than it was during the August 2003 blackout. But looking forward, there's no doubt in anybody's mind, I don't think, that this province has not been keeping pace at all with generating or transmission facilities for a decade or more.
Ontario has been on the verge of blackouts nearly 50 times in recent years. And while Ontario's industrial energy consumption has fallen marginally, with the computerization of the workplace, a population that is rising by about 150,000 people per year, and electricity which often costs less to use than to produce, quenching Ontario's energy appetite will be increasingly difficult.
On a hot day like today, we need 25,000 megawatts to keep the people in Ontario healthy, to keep industry going. And we've got 7,000 megawatts of hydroelectric. We've maybe got another 40% of the road nuclear. We've got our coal plants going flat out, and we've got some extremely more and more expensive gas plants going. So there's no easy dig out of this situation. We're in a hole. It's as simple as that.
Ontario's energy supply predicament is twofold. First, its aging fleet of nuclear plants needs billions of dollars worth of repairs. And second, by sticking to the political promises to close all of Ontario's coal-fired plants by 2014.
And specifically, Speaker, we are determined to eliminate coal-fired generation in Ontario.
Dalton McGuinty's government will effectively lose 20% of its electricity capacity, with little short-term ability to fill that gap.
Consumption is continuing to increase in a province that already uses far too much electricity for the number of people who live here. And with the aging of the nuclear reactors and the government's position of closing the existing coal plants, there is a near crisis here.
We estimate that in order to meet the looming supply-demand gap, an investment of $25 to $40 billion will be required to keep the lights on over the next 15 years.
The question is, how can Ontario, once Canada's economic engine, but now relegated to the status of a have-not province, settle the tab?